Hey, what's up, Lightbolt Joe here. Today we are going to discuss the 2013 action-adventure thriller film Fast and Furious 6. This is directed by Justin Lin. Everyone is back, minus Leon. Still don't know where he is. Leo and Santos are not in this film, but you got Han, you got Giselle, you got Tej, you got Roman, Mia, Brian, Elsa Pataki's character of Elena, you got Dom, you got Brian. Did I say Brian? I might have said Brian. Letty's back from the dead. Owen Shaw is played by Luke Evans, the swagger god that he is. And then we have Deckard Shaw, not named, but Jason Statham is at the very end of the film in like a mid-credit scene. I have notes on a tiny little post-it. This is, what, two hours and some odd minutes? There's so much information that goes on in this film, and I think, because I have to watch 7 and 8 and then Hobbs and Shaw again, but I'm pretty sure this is the film that's filmed in the most locations. I have notes. Okay, so the Canary Islands in Spain. Okay, Moscow, Russia, Rio, Hong Kong, London, Los Angeles, California, Lusitania, Spain, and then Tokyo at the post-credit scene. So we start the movie off. Dom and Brian are racing on the Canary Islands because Mia's going into labor. So they run. Baby Jack is born. Hobbs then... I'm going to try to do this without the notes, actually. Hang on. We talked about the Shaws. You know what? Screw it. I'm just going to read my notes and then we'll talk. Luke Evans is Owen Shaw. Jason Statham is Deckard Shaw. Hattie Shaw is their younger sister, but we don't know about Hattie until Luke and Hobbs. But then Luke and Hobbs, or Hobbs and Luke? No, Hobbs and Shaw. Hobbs and Shaw, they don't talk about Owen Shaw for some reason. It's just Deck and Hattie, and then their mom. I don't know what happened, but I'm assuming we'll get to that eventually. So then Hobbs needs Dom's help in getting Letty and Owen Shaw, because Letty is now rolling with Owen Shaw's crew. Owen Shaw's crew is going whirlwind international adventures, 4 different continents, 12 different countries, as Hobbs says, to collect parts to make a weapon, a military weapon that can, like, what's it called? Basically put a grid out. So, like, take a whole grid out, a country down, have the country go blind for 24 hours. Unheard of casualties, right? And unrequested. I can't think of the word. There's so many thoughts going through my mind right now. Unprecedented. There we go. Amount of casualties that would be happening. So the film takes primarily place in London, and then Lusitania, Spain is like the final part of it. So you have Hobbs working with this new militant female. Like I said, Hobbs gives Dom this packet, and it's showing that Letty is still alive, and that Letty is working with Owen. I need a fidget spinner. I'm getting jittery. So it's a matter of convincing Dom to take on this case, to work with a cop, because Dom is a criminal who doesn't work well with a cop, but then a cop needs to work well with a criminal in order to join forces. Same concept as the fifth film. The enemy of my enemy is my friend. But in order to do this, Hobbs kind of grants pardons only if Owen Shaw is given to Hobbs and company with the chip to make sure the chip is safe because it's worth billions to the right buyer. So Dom talks to Brian. They talk to Mia. They get their team together. They explain what's going on and how Letty is alive. That they need to figure out why Letty is with them. How did she survive the crash, and how to get the information for the ship and figure out where Owen is and what he's doing. So we all culminate. There's street racing scenes in London. Rita Ora is the flag girl. That was pretty cool. But then there's like a lot of car chasing scenes, a lot of more bridge scenes. There's a tank involved. Owen's driving a tank at some point. But Letty has amnesia, so she does not remember anything that from the crash that she was in. She doesn't remember being being Brian's informant in Braga's cartel. And we find out that Braga was under Shaw. That Braga was running guns, running women, running drugs, all these things for Shaw. And Shaw was more international and Braga was more local, but Shaw was teaching Braga how to be more international rather than global. How we know this is that Brian goes to Los Angeles as like a fake inmate to go to Braga's prison to then get this information, then goes back to, you know, Spain, back to London where everybody is, to then pass this information along. But Letty still doesn't know who she is or where she's from. She's just getting fragments of information off of files that Owens created of Dom's team, and then vice versa. When she joins Dom's team after Owen betraying her, they give Letty the information, and Brian tries to apologize, and Letty's like, no, there's one thing I know about myself is that I don't do anything that I don't want to do, because Brian felt bad that he had her be an informant in the cartel, and that's what got her killed, but she didn't die, obviously. So that was a nice little back and forth between them. So Shaw found Letty 2 days later in the hospital, ready to kill her officially, but she didn't remember anything. So he said, you know, how much potential this girl has, starting fresh or brand new. Let me keep her in my crew. So then they're going through Berlin. They, you know, do some crazy stuff in Moscow to get more stuff for this chip. So the chip is built. The weapon is built, right? 3 ounces of, what did they say? 3 grams of chip is worth billions of dollars, something like that. The militant girl that Hobbs was working with turns out to be an espionage individual for Shaw. So then the tables turn. Shaw has Mia kidnapped, basically. Elena has baby Jack because they were trying to hide out in the Canary Islands. Elena was going to be protecting Mia and Jack, but then Shaw's crew got a hold of them. So then we are in Lusitania, Spain, for 13 minutes of a tarmac scene. I counted it from hour 42 to hour 43. I'm sorry, 42 to 53. Was it 53? Maybe it was 11 minutes? I don't remember now. It was over 10 minutes that there were car chases and scenes going on this tarmac. So the object is Owen is trying to escape with the chip on this plane, this military plane. So the bay doors are down, there's cars in there, all this stuff's going on. You got Letty fighting off the military girl, Shaw's girl. She gets thrown out the window after she gets a spear to the chest, dead. Shaw gets thrown out the plane at one point. You assume he's dead, but we see him in the next film. Giselle dies by saving Han, but again, we don't actually see Giselle die. We just know that she's like, gets thrown off the tarmac as well. But we just assume Giselle is dead because Giselle is not with Han in Tokyo during Fast and Furious Tokyo Drift. As we know, that's why Han is in Tokyo, because Giselle and Han constantly say, oh, let's go to Tokyo. Like, they're in Hong Kong at one point, and they're like, oh, let's go to Tokyo. Tokyo is the end game. Maybe Giselle's alive, because we know from the trailer for Fast 9 that Han is still alive. How did that happen? That's what I'm saying. Just because you see someone die in a Fast and Furious film does not mean that they're dead in the Fast and Furious films. So it's possible Giselle is still alive because Han is still alive. Let's hope Giselle is still alive. I know Gal Gadot is Wonder Woman. She's got a big, you know, thing going on because she's Gal Gadot and she's Wonder Woman. But, like, she was Giselle before she was Wonder Woman. Let's just make this all clear, okay? So as the crew takes the plane down with their cars, Giselle is presumed dead. Han is very upset. Dom gives the chip to Hobbs, and Hobbs says, you know, name your price, and Dom goes 1327, and that's the address of their house in Los Angeles. So the crew gets all their all of their pardons. They're done. They're free and clear, free men and women. They get their house, 1327 Los Angeles, East Los Angeles, and the final scene is of the family having a barbecue, saying grace, you know, being thankful for what they have. Jack is fine. Mia is fine. Elena says goodbye to Dom. Dom and Letty are together again. Letty thanks Elena for, you know, being there for Dom, because we open the film up with, like I said, Dom and Brian are racing to get to Mia, who's in labor, and then we have Dom and Elena in bed together, and then that's when Hobbs, you know, comes and gives Dom the envelope saying that Letty's still alive. You know, this is the information that I have. I need your help. So it's a long movie. There's a lot of information. This is why I needed to write notes, because I'm talking about this stuff to try to make sure that I remember as I watch these in the future, how everything goes down, who is connected to whom and when, and time periods. So the post-credit scene, the mid-credit scene of this is the drift sequence in Tokyo through that main square, and I can't remember the name of the square, but we find out that Deckard Shaw, who's not named Deckard yet, is played by Jason Statham, and he's the one who drove the car that hit Han, and then he calls Dominic, and he's like, Dominic Toretto, you don't know me, but you're about to. And then Han's car explodes, right? And again, Han is presumed dead. So that scene, again, is going to be featured in Furious 7, because it's a matter of Dom going to Tokyo in regards to Han, because Deckard now has Dom's necklace, the cross that he gave to Letty and that Letty gave to Owen Shaw. So then Owen Shaw had the cross after when he was thrown out the plane. So we'll see how Deckard gets the cross from Owen, and then that cross is very important moving forward in other films as well. It's Dom's necklace. Who would have thought Dom's necklace would be a feature plot point through many, many storylines of many, many films? So 2013's Fast and Furious 6, very long film, directed by Justin Lin. This is his 3, 4, 5, 6. So he's done 4 consecutive films. He didn't do the 7th. James Wan does the 7th. And we know that because he has that nice horror vibe to him. So he uses that raw sound effect for the score. Something F. Gary Gray, I think. He does 8. I forget who does 9 in regards to, like, Fast and Furious presents Hobbs and Shaw. I forget who directed that. And then Justin Lin is doing F9 again. I think that's what I remember reading. So let's see. On to Furious 7. Mucho mahalo.